Welcome to Kansas City Real Talk, brought to you by KCRAR. I'm Alex Gehring, and I am still here with Jeff Carson, who's filling in for Bobby Howell, and we're still at Recharge. It's been quite a few weeks here at Recharge, Jeff. When are we going to get up out of these chairs?
I don't know. I'm ready for a clothing change. I need a haircut. I mean, we've been here for a long time.
I'm getting kind of ripe.
I know. I need a shave.
I haven't had any time to reapply anything. It's getting stanky in here.
I'm getting 12 pounds. Nothing but Chick-fil-A keeps coming in the door.
It's rough, but it's been 2 weeks. So finally, another one of our guests at Recharge is going to come in, and we'll get to see somebody else. Jeff and I have been at odds. There's been conflict for the last 2 weeks in this room.
It's not been pretty.
It has not been pretty.
So over you.
That's okay. You know, we're almost done. All right. And I'll tell you something.
Couldn't come any quicker.
After this episode, I'm kicking you out of this room, and I'm going to go find John Ketchum. I will go happily. I'm bringing John Ketchum in.
Oh, well, I'm going to go out and warn him.
Whatever.
It's like to sit in here with you.
Well, you know what? Let's get it together. Let's be professional. We've got an episode to record.
We have to be
all right.
For these people. Okay. I'm happy to be here with you today, Alex. Not.
All right. So, we've been recording.
Oh, sorry.
It's all right. It's okay.
Okay.
So,
welcome to Kansas City Real Talk.
Welcome to Kansas City Real Talk. Well, Jeff, we were having quite the conversation before we got started about the shows that we're watching.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
And quite diverse.
Quite diverse. And this is exactly what our audience tunes in for. They want to know what TV we're watching.
I think so. Yeah. What makes Jeff Carson and Alex Gehring tick?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. What have you been watching?
Well, I'm watching The Crown, which I love.
Yeah.
And I just finished 1923, which is so good. It is just so good. 1923. Yeah.
I watched the first season of that. The second season, I think I watched the first episode and I haven't jumped back in, but I'll finish it up. But solid.
You don't want to know about, does he make it home?
Yeah, I guess. But also there's been a lot of really good TV on. There's still a lot of really good TV on. To be clear, like The Last of Us is coming back. That I'm all in on The Last of Us. White Lotus season 3 just finished up.
Watch.
So there's been a lot. That's the thing. I've had a lot of other priorities. So it's going to have to wait until probably late summer when some of the
everything
important watches go on hiatus.
We watch things based on like timing. So we watch The Amazing Race. It's always been one of our things, but it's always been on Sunday night.
Yeah.
After 60 Minutes. Well, they moved it to Wednesday. Well, we don't watch it on Wednesday because we watch Amazing Race on Sunday. So I always make Patty wait until Sunday to watch Amazing Race, and then we follow it with 1923.
Got it.
So that's TV nights. Don't call me. Leave me alone.
Well, I've been watching. I watched 1883, which is fantastic and heartbreaking and all of the things and just incredible character arcs all the way through. But it set me on this path to where I was thinking a lot about settlers. And also thinking a lot about like the Oregon Trail. I literally downloaded the Oregon Trail app on my phone and played Oregon Trail for like a week straight or something. In fact, while I'm sitting in here waiting another 2 weeks for this next guest to show up, I'm probably gonna whip out Oregon Trail. But also, I decided that I should watch. I should watch Little House on the Prairie with Charlie.
It's so good. I mean, I watched that with my kids, and we loved it.
It's fabulous. So,
matter of fact, when they would go to bed, I would watch other episodes. So, I mean, there I am still, downstairs watching it by myself.
So there are a few that I did that with because I read the description and I was like, I don't actually know if that's something that Charlie was ready for. Because at this time she was like 5. Mm-hmm.
There are a few that are a little mature.
There are.
But, my kids asked me one time, they said, Dad, what would we have done had we lived back in those days? I said, well, unfortunately, we would be dead. Because we would all be dead. Because if I was not Mr. Olson and owned that store, we would have died of starvation out there in a cabin that was not finished. That cabin would have been like a lean-to. Yes, we would have died of either exposure or wolves would have got us or something. But we would not be here today. Our family line would have ended back then.
So you're saying we'd either be dead or you would have been a brat? That's what
I
you're
would have
saying.
been. Yeah, I could have been Willie Olson very easily. I could have been Nels, Nels Olson. But no, we would not have survived back then.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, when we finished up Little House on the Prairie, we actually started watching Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, and not the movie, but the TV show. If you open, I think it's on Amazon Prime, is what I'm watching it on, and it has every season from the very beginning, and
Really?
we started from the very beginning.
I don't think I appreciated it enough until I saw the movie. I mean, I was just watching the show. I thought the show was great.
Yeah.
But I think it was just the wrong age. I just thought maybe it was this weird old guy with a sweater, kind of thing. But then when I watched watched the movie as an adult and just hearing more about him, it was really touching.
Well, I definitely didn't. I watched some of it growing up. My mom was a fan, and it was on PBS. We watched it regularly.
Your mom was an educator, wasn't she?
My mom was
Yeah.
in it. Both my parents were
Yes.
educators, yeah. And so, yeah, I watched a little bit of it growing up. I haven't seen the movie, but I didn't watch any of the original episodes growing up. And starting from the very beginning, there's just this incredible air about it, to be honest, where I don't know, it's very touching, and the way that he's communicating in a fairly adult way, but with such respect for what he knows, who he knows the listeners are, right?
Yeah.
And then the way that the puppets in the land of make believe are even talked to and approached. It is amazing. So I'm actually watching that one with Margot and Charlie, and they are glued. And it truly
good,
is
good.
timeless content.
You will always remember those times.
Oh, God.
My voice is cracking. I mean, I remember when your kids are little, it goes so fast.
Yeah.
And you'll look back on those times and I won't say anymore because I'll get all emotional.
Well, it's fabulous, and the way that they problem solve and guide these people through these fake problems that aren't real problems, but they have such empathy for them. Just this moved, and you don't like that, and just having that conversation, it's amazing. It just
I think watching Little House on the Prairie too kind of just reinforces that whole family unit because
it
the family
does.
it was the family first, and they all did everything for each other. And whether it was when Charles was unable to work, and the kids would all go to work and try to collect eggs and do sewing and all the things that they did to help them get through that rough time, things like that. It just shows you what a family can do when the family stays together.
Absolutely, and even people who are in conflict with one another, who have had conflict in the past, the fact that they always have to work together in a later episode.
Right.
Even
goes
if there
into
was,
real estate. Look at what we
it's true,
did.
and no, that's true.
I mean, you can make that analogy with us.
That's right. There might be. You might have limited knowledge of someone, right? Or you might have a certain opinion about the way that they
reputation
do
precedes them.
business because of things that you've heard or whatever. But ultimately, you got to put all of that aside, and you've got to work together. And often you find out that the way that you felt about that person, or the things that you heard about that person, were untrue. Or maybe they were true, but there was color that needed to be added to the equation
That's
in
a good
order
way
to
to put
fully
that.
understand it.
And sometimes I've walked away and said, yep, it's exactly the way I thought it was going to be.
That is true.
And that's unfortunate because I really had hoped that it was going to be different. I mean, I always think, no. So I always give the benefit of the doubt. And then, okay, fine. That's just the way it is.
It's funny. I had a conversation in my sales meeting recently. It's an extremely competitive buyer's market, seller's market right now. It's extremely competitive for buyers. And we have a lot of buyers that are, losing out. What's new? It's been years, right? This isn't anything new.
What we do.
And yet we still have this situation where you've got buyer's agents that end up mad because they don't feel that the listing agent gave them another opportunity to come up. Right. Or you ask a listing agent for an invoice and they don't get it to you right away, and you're just convinced that they're covering something up. We have a tendency to assume the worst.
You go to the dark place.
We do. And the reality is that sometimes the worst is accurate.
Right.
But more often than not, I actually think that communication probably would have solved the problem.
That's always the key to everything.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to be doing a latte and learn with Angela, our friend Angela.
Oh my gosh.
And on working together, with
She
agents.
drinks lattes. You don't need that. You don't give that girl more energy.
Well, we're supposed to teach together, and so we're going to do a 2-hour segment on working together. We've done some deals, and they've had some challenges, not because of Angela or I, because we've been friends for years, but how we work through those challenges. What? Why are you laughing?
I love it. You guys are going to do. This is something we have to pitch.
You're not invited now.
I am going.
No, you are not going.
So I want to
He's
make
not
sure that
going.
I understand. You're going to do a 2-hour latte and learn where you guys are going to teach together, and you're going to talk about transactions that you've done together where there was conflict.
No, we're going to talk about problems that arise and how you work together to get a win-win for your consumer, for your customer.
Oh, well, that still sounds like something I go to. The other one was going to be way more fun. Like I was going to
do it that way. If you think we get more
could
people.
Moderate. Like,
What?
could I be up there and like ask and try to create the conflict? Maybe there could be like a fight. I could work on chance that the audience could have, and like kind of like I'm hearing.
We probably could pack the house with that.
Alex, kind of like Jerry.
I was going to say Jerry Springer version.
Yeah. No.
Well, we'd probably, you know what? We'd probably get more people in seats.
Could I
to be
bring
honest.
in your clients? So like when you say something and it doesn't quite work,
no.
can I be like, well, Jeff?
No, because
I
my
have
story is
news for
better.
ya.
My story's better than the one they'll tell you.
Mary Alice and Joe Lynn are out in the lobby.
Oh, no.
And they're coming in right now.
No.
Let's see what they have to say. They've been watching you all along. Let's see how this goes.
I'm already sweating. No. While it sounds fun, I was going to say it sounds fun for you. It does not sound fun for me.
But what more matters other than whether or not it's fun for me?
For you, right.
Actually, I think that we should unseat arbitration and kind of get rid of all of that, and we'll just do it my way.
It would be fun.
Can I just handle this stuff?
That actually could be fun.
It could be fun.
Yeah. As long as I'm not involved, it could be fun.
I think I'm going the Jerry and Montel route rather than the Judge Judy route. I feel like Judge Judy's a little too classy.
What was that one? Not Sally Jesse. There was another one.
Who?
Jenny Jones.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I don't know
Somebody
who
got
Jenny
shot
Jones
on that show.
is. Somebody got shot.
Yeah.
Nobody's getting shot on my watch. Nobody's getting shot
Think of the
on
ratings.
my watch.
I mean, maybe if we just winged them.
Natalie's going to listen to this episode.
Yes, Natalie Davis.
And she's going to tune in and she's going to think, these clowns brought me in.
And
on this one.
Oh, and she's so good.
She's so good.
Oh, yes.
She's been on the podcast before. I think we had her on to talk about business planning.
If you weren't at Recharge today, you have to stay and listen to the.
Absolutely.
I mean, thank you for putting up with Alex and I, but you have to stay for the part with Natalie. She's fantastic.
She is fabulous. We're going to talk about database management, and also we're going to talk about client appreciation events.
Yes.
She's got some great insights. So. What do you say, Jeff? Shall we go get Natalie?
Yes, let's do it. I can't wait.
Looking for more options to rock your home? Voted best in KC, Rock Tops now has 2 locations to better serve you. Come visit their award-winning showroom in Olathe or the new location in Lee's Summit. Making homes look incredible is kind of their thing. Rock Tops designs, fabricates, and installs stone countertops in the Kansas City metro area. Visit either location and mention Real KC Rocks to get 10% off your countertops. Details and restrictions apply. Visit rocktopskc.com to rock your home with Rock Tops. Welcome back to Kansas City Real Talk, brought to you by KCRAR. Jeff and I are here with Natalie Davis, who just got off stage at Recharge.
Yes.
And Natalie, tell us just briefly what you were talking about up on stage.
Oh my gosh, I'd love to. So I had an opportunity to share a session about database mastery, creating a 6-figure business from your database. And we dove into who you're supposed to connect with. What are you doing to provide value? How are you staying top of mind? How do you manage your database once you have it up and running? And how are you maintaining it moving forward? It was raw. It was honest. There were a few moments where the air was sucked out of the room. But
that's okay.
It is
I think that's okay.
Yes.
It is. I like shock value.
Exactly.
I'm all about it.
Well, we did that. Absolutely. And I like to always just remind people that it's a safe place, right? It's not judgment. It's not from a place of judgment and criticism on what you've done. It's now you have an opportunity to really create a fair and equitable practice with your database, because that's often a space that we don't think about when we think about like fair housing practices and things of that nature. Is what information are you collecting? Are you collecting the same information for everyone across the board? So that's kind of the foundation of it.
I love that you brought that up. So
yes.
We have a big red line class next week,
Yes.
and I wanted to be one of the first people to hear the class because it's just a passion of mine.
It's
So
a
thank
priority.
you for bringing that up.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So Natalie, Jeff teaches the KCRAR orientation when new agents come in.
Yes.
I'm a managing broker and vice president who brings in a ton of new agents on a regular basis.
Yes.
And I don't know about Jeff, but I feel like there is no shortage of new agents entering the business in Kansas City. I think your class is probably constantly full,
It is.
and I'm hiring more this year than I did last year, even with everything happening, in quotes, right, in the industry.
Yes.
So
You wouldn't know based on the people coming into the business.
you just wouldn't.
That, or they haven't heard anything about anything.
And I think a lot of them actually have, and they
It doesn't stir them the
It
way
doesn't. Exactly.
They don't have that background that we had, so
That's right.
they don't know any different.
No, absolutely.
So
with new agents,
Yes.
right? How do they get started? We know that the database is the key, right? And with a little bit of luck, maybe sometimes for some people, but ultimately, database nurturing is the key. How do they get started? What does that look like?
That's such a great question. I actually shared during the session my backstory. I got into real estate a couple of months after relocating to an entire new state, new market, new everything. So I was part of a corporate relo. I was the trailing spouse at the time. And I knew 50 to 60 people that were also part of that corporate relo in this community. And they all just purchased a house. So I had a database of 50 folks that were brand new homeowners. And so basically starting at zero. And so when you're looking at your database, for me, that was one of the number one priorities and goals that I had in my business plan for that first year. It was building a robust database to at least 150 people. So my task was by the end of the year to build it to 150 people. If we know the cycle of real estate, that task should have been 150 people by the summer of that year, right? Like by the 6-month mark, instead of doing it at the 12-month mark because of the life cycle of a transaction. So I think if you're a brand new agent, it's daunting to think about creating a database, because I remember the day sitting down with my managing broker and she said, okay, I need you to put down in a spreadsheet, Outlook, whatever you're going to use, all of the people that you know and that know, like, and trust you. And I looked at her and I was like, this sounds a little pyramid schemey. Are you sure? Like, are you going to call these people? Why am I giving you everyone that I know?
Right.
I was skeptical,
Yeah.
right? I was like, what is this for? I don't understand.
you were a realtor right off the start. I'm not giving away any information.
Yes, I was like, absolutely not. I'm not doing this. But here's the thing. You have to do it. It is the foundation of everything that you're going to do moving forward. We didn't talk about this during the session, but really for a new agent that's coming in, if you think about building that solid foundation, regardless of how long you plan to stay in the business, we should put on a hat that puts us in the position that we are the CEO of our business. And so if we're the CEO of our business and we are willy-nilly on our database, then you might as well throw everything else out, because at the end of the day, fast forward 10, 15, 20 years, if someone approaches you to buy your book of business, if you don't have a solid database with a proven marketing strategy, then you might as well forget it, right? Like, what are you selling? You're just practicing on an annual basis to practice on an annual basis without that long-term plan. So really, put on that CEO hat, build your database, and build a solid business.
I'm not a big mind-blown thing, but that was a big thing for me.
Oh,
Wow.
thank you.
Because I've done this for a long time, and I never really looked at it like that.
That's, here's the thing.
Now it's too late.
It's not. It's never too late.
Thank
Jeff.
you. I was hoping you'd say that. I was hoping it wouldn't go deafening silence right after I said that.
Yes.
Okay, so there's hope for me. I'm going to write that down.
Yeah,
there is hope for
That's
you.
it. Exactly.
From Natalie.
Hashtag there is hope.
Thank you.
No, it's never too late. And this is the piece that I think a lot of practitioners don't really look at, and it's a missed opportunity. And here's the reason that it's top of mind with me is that I actually had a couple of conversations over the last few months with agents that have solid books of business. I mean, high-producing agents. And you ask them, well, what's the next thing? What do you want to do? And they're like, I don't know. I just might walk away from the whole thing. And I'm in shock at that. I'm like, you've spent 25 years building this up, and you want to just simply walk away, hands up, nothing else, because there's a missed opportunity, right? There's a reason that we're doing this, we're building this, and why not pass that on to somebody else that could actually continue that business, and we stay in it from a referral standpoint. So that's just soapbox.
I got to believe there were a lot of people just like having those moments, those aha moments in that room.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm not the only one. Good.
No, you're not the only. You are not alone. No.
I'm glued to the table right now. Keep going.
No,
Alex.
Natalie, you kind of made reference to it just briefly.
Okay.
But
yes.
I want to dive into it a little bit. I want to get specific. So Ninja used to teach, and I took it with Terry Johnson. I've been through like five or six installations with her.
Yes.
Adore her. Early on, I learned that each household in your database was worth $1,000 in gross commission income. The first time I went through Ninja, the sales cycle was also only 5.5 years. And then the next time I went through Ninja, it was 7. And then it was like,
I think it's 11 now.
Now it's like 11.
Yes.
Right. So as that sales cycle continues to get longer, I know that we've experienced appreciation, of course.
Right.
But as that sales cycle gets longer, doesn't the value, the monetary value, not to turn everybody into dollars and cents, doesn't the value of each owner-occupant household go down a little bit? I haven't really heard anybody talk about that, but I think about it regularly.
Yes, that's such a great question. The numbers that I have is actually the reverse. We're seeing the value of each name going up because of the appreciation
That's what I was going to say.
that we've seen in homes. Exactly. It'll be interesting to see this year because that number is based off of the number of home sales that we're seeing. And we know that the last couple of years we've had inventory challenges and things of that nature. So if we continue to see home sales on a national standpoint kind of decline in the upcoming year, then yes, then we're going to see that number go down. But the balance has been with the appreciation that we've seen in home prices over the last couple of years.
Fascinating.
Yes.
So that's really interesting. And I know that it's not a super scientific number, but do you have any idea where that might be right now? I know, like we used to say 1,000. Where do we think that it is now?
Yeah, I ran the numbers about 6 months ago, and it was at 1,300.
Oh my gosh!
Yes,
that's amazing.
Now
and isn't that
I
great?
would have thought higher, though, actually.
That's great
Yes.
news for people.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and that does hinge on average sales price within your community and the number, like the inventory level, number of sales within your community as well. So if you're in like a second home market where your average sales price is multi-million dollars and you only see in a year, a couple hundred sales, that number is significantly higher for those names within your database. But those are also individuals that probably have a much larger database as well because it's seasonal living, second home living, things like that.
The Kansas City market versus LA or
Exactly.
New York.
Exactly. Absolutely. I'm joining you. My market is Colorado, right? So if you're looking at Colorado, if you're looking at Denver versus Aspen or Vail, completely different in terms of the value of each name.
Of course. And how does market saturation, like agent count, how does that play into that number? Because also when I got started, right, we were at, maybe right at 1 million or something.
Yes.
I don't remember exactly how many agents there were in the country, but I think that in Kansas City we were at like maybe 8,000 at the time, and now we're at 13,000.
Wow.
Right? So how does that market saturation play in? You talk a little bit about that.
So I don't have the data to support this. I'm just going to share my own personal opinion. I don't think that it does. And so the same that you saw in terms of, what you've seen and shared about the sales cycle or the life cycle for your transactions for the individuals in your database. We've also seen an uptick in the number of real estate practitioners that the average person knows, right? And so I think when I got in the business, it was 8. It jumped to 9. I was appalled when it was at 10. I think now it's like 11 or 12, right? So they know more. I think know more real estate practitioners. I think the biggest piece comes out of the session that we just had in terms of staying top of mind. Like if you are the agent that's staying top of mind, if you are truly dialed in to being the source of all things real estate to the individuals within your database, the rest of it doesn't matter. The moment that you start to pull the brake or scale back or do less, and when I say do less, having less engagement with everyone in your database, that's when it's going to impact your numbers, right? Otherwise, if you're doing everything to stay top of mind, and the magic number that I shared in the course was if you're not interacting with the people in your database at least 46 times per year, that's the baseline. Someone else is. And those are the people that are staying top of mind. Those are also the people that have had a solid business the last 7, 8, 9, 10 years. Those are the people that made it through 2007, 2008, right? Like these are the people that know what it takes to stay in front of, and there's no shortcut to it. You can't circumvent it. Like it just has to happen.
46 per year, and
Yes.
that's a big number.
It is.
That's a big number, and I don't want to go into all 46 touches, but can you maybe tell us a few that people aren't thinking of? Like, are there a couple that are unique that that people need to add?
Yes, absolutely. The thing that I think, the one interaction that I think has the most value right now that is a missed opportunity is client appreciation events. And however that looks for you for client appreciation events. And the reason being is that if you are successfully executing a client appreciation event with a plan, you're interacting with your people in your database, at least those that attend the event, at least 7 times, right? So that's 7 interactions for each client appreciation event. So for me, if you can build up to a space that you're doing at least 1 client appreciation event per quarter, because that's how long it takes to promote it. If you have the date of the event, you want to backtrack 6 to 8 weeks and start with the invitation. The email invitation, the postcards, the newsletters, exactly. So those are 3, right? So you're sending the invitation out to your clients. That's 3 interactions right there. And then you're going to do the personal invitation where you place a phone call to them. I wanted to invite you out. We're having an event in 4 weeks. Wanted to see if you could come out and join us. That's another interaction, right? And then during the event, you're actually getting that face-to-face time, making those clients feel special. It's not about us. It's not, hey, here I am, come to my event, my brand, whatever it may be. I want to show appreciation to you because you've helped me in building this business. And then what I've seen with the agents that I've worked with is that as you create that signature event or those events throughout the year, is that they continue to grow and they build, right? So if you host one client appreciation event and you're interacting with people 7 out of the 46 times, I mean, there's 7 interactions out of the 46 interactions. It's absolutely doable. And the one thing that I share is that if you're not willing to create a marketing strategy and a marketing plan that puts you in front of your clients at least 46 times throughout the year, someone else is.
I love this. So
good.
Yeah,
Isn't
this
she?
is good. Let's stay on
Thank you.
client events
Okay.
because
Did you know she was this good one?
I did.
Oh my God,
I think
she's
this
so
is
good.
important, right? So client events.
Yes.
I think a lot of people are starting to try to do that. But there's a difference between throwing together a client event or saying that you're going to do a client event, throwing one thing out on social media and just seeing who shows up, which, by the way, will be 1 or 2 people. Well, walk us through what a consumer should experience as they're attending. I say consumer, what somebody on our database, what they should experience
Yes.
when they're coming through a client event.
Whatever the event is, I am not married to or connected to any type of event, but whatever the event is, making sure that that's what it's about, right? The consumer should not, or a client should not attend a client appreciation event. And the first thing that they're met with is, here's a home valuation report. Here's what your property is worth. We're not bringing them into our space to talk real estate. We're bringing them into this boring. Yes, yawn. Yes. We're bringing them into our space to, one, celebrate them. Two, create a space where they can actually feel like it's about them and we're truly invested in learning more about them. So if your client appreciation event is renting out the movie theater, I know that's something that's popular with a lot of agents. And so they'll rent out the entire movie theater and they'll bring their clients in. Ways that you can make them special. One, they already feel special because they received the invitation. Two, they're getting this exclusive viewing opportunity at a movie theater. They feel special again. I strongly encourage whatever client appreciation event that you do, that you bring in a photographer, professional or some kind of designated person that's going to do photos. Capture moments, capture portraits that you can then share with those clients after the event. Again, they feel special. When we're talking about the client experience, it is how much can we do to make sure that they feel like we truly care about them, because we do. We truly care about them and we just want to show appreciation to them. Wow. That's it. That's the focus.
What do you think that the consumer, and the answer might be no, do you think that the consumer sees the level of coordination in a successful client event and thinks to themselves, okay, they're going to market my home with the diligence that the agent marketed this client event. This person's obviously organized and coordinated. They got this thing put together. There's an element of trust that you're establishing if you hadn't worked with that person previously.
If you've done it right, it will. But if you don't do it right, it'll blow up on you.
100%. So the answer is yes. Yeah. And consciously, will they think about it? Absolutely not. Subconsciously, it's programmed, right? So if you're hosting a client appreciation event, and I always say you want to outsource absolutely everything, you as the real estate practitioner, your only job is to engage with your clients during a client appreciation event. But let's just say you're not heeding to my advice and your client appreciation event is kicking off and you're setting up the tray of food at the 11th hour as people are showing up and they see you scrambling and setting the table up and setting up refreshments. That's the sense and the energy that they're going to walk away with of how you are going to show up as a real estate practitioner. But if you're there with complete groundedness and grace and you're welcoming everyone and you're letting them know, welcome to the event. I'd love for you to stop at the photo booth that's on your right, grab some popcorn, it's right in front of you, go in and find a seat, enjoy your time. I'm going to make sure that I connect with you when we wrap up, or I'll come in and find you, whatever that may be. That feels different than, hey, Natalie, good to see you. I've just got to put these sandwiches out real quick. I'll be right back.
Hot mess is what it tells me.
Hot mess. 100%. Yes. Yes.
I think that a lot of agents hear client event and they start thinking in themselves, okay, this could be really expensive, right? You mentioned the movie theater.
Yes.
And I've got a couple of agents that do that. I have an agent who he's amazing. He rents a mobile screen and then puts it in his subdivision every summer, invites his entire subdivision out, and it's a movie night, and then he buys the screening rights to something and puts it up there. And it's been over 100 people attend every year.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's
easy. It's fun.
Exactly.
I bring my kids.
But he spends a solid amount of money on this thing, right? So what are some inexpensive options for client events to get people started?
Absolutely. I love this idea because, well, before I give you my feedback on that piece of it, whatever the client appreciation event is that you choose to move forward with, it has to resonate with you. Like it has to be something that you enjoy. And so we've mentioned the movies in the park. We mentioned the movie theater. You can do picnics. There are a variety of events, right? It's limitless in terms of what you want to do. When we're looking at inexpensive ways, I think it is actually farming your neighborhood and doing like a quote unquote client appreciation event for your neighborhood farm. And this is a conversation. It's not my idea. I actually picked this up from another agent, and I think that he kills it because he is seen as a trusted advisor in his neighborhood. To kick off the summer, every year, I want to say that they've done this maybe 5 or 6 years now. So again, a signature event. It's something that everyone in the neighborhood is looking forward to. We have the annual, this is the day that the pool opens, right? So what he will do is head out to the dollar store, and he will pick up balloons and markers and poster board and glitter and sprinkle and sparkles and everything that you would use to decorate your bikes. He sends an invitation out to all of the neighborhood residents to let them know we're going to do a bike parade that starts at my house. So he sets everything up. He brings all of the supplies. He spends about $50 on the supplies from the dollar store, sets it all out on his driveway. He also gets little adult beverages that he can serve to the parents when they come, so that they can make their way through the bike parade as well.
Somebody's got to get into the decorating phase.
Exactly. And so all of the kids come out, they come out with their bikes, they decorate their bikes, and the bike parade starts at his home.
Oh, I love that.
And then they parade and process down to the swimming pool, and they kick off the opening of the pool. How amazing is that, right?
Genius.
And so
Yeah.
parents don't have to think about it, or guardians don't have to think about it for the kids. It's something for them to do. They get a nice little refreshment on the side. Kids are having a great time because kids are kids, right? It just gives them an opportunity to be creative. And then they're part of this neighborhood parade. So there's a sense of pride and ownership for the kids built into the neighborhood as well. They absolutely love it. I think he's in less than $100 for that event.
That's a fabulous idea.
I see
That's
Alex
awesome.
with his basket on the front of his bike that he has, and coming down. I can just see you doing that, Alex.
I think that's
Oh,
awesome.
that's hilarious.
I can see you doing
Jeff doesn't know me very well because I don't talk to any of my neighbors. That is not.
But that basket on the bike, that's a for real thing.
That's the bike, yes. The event, no. That's the part of it. Like, you've got to be authentic, right? If that's not
Right.
your thing, don't force it. If you don't like kids, don't do that.
It's a great idea
right?
for somebody.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
Not me. He's got 3 young kids.
I'm out of production.
Yes. So that's like an easy one. And this same agent, he does something else that I think is really fun. And again, he's seen as the source of all things real estate for his neighborhood. I don't want to say there's 600 rooftops in his neighborhood, something like that. I mean, it's a pretty big, master plan community. And for St. Patrick's Day, same thing. He found these little leprechauns at the dollar store. So he bought 12 of them and then went to a coffee shop and bought gift cards to the coffee shop. He hid the leprechauns throughout the community, and on the neighborhood page, 12 of these are hidden
hunt.
throughout the community. If you find them, you're entered into a drawing for these gift cards, right? Free advertising and marketing.
So easy.
Absolutely easy. Yes. And so again, I think $100 total for that as well. Yeah.
Fun stuff.
So such great advice. I've got something. I want to go into something that's just a hair more. I don't want to say negative, but it's
Okay.
a reality, right?
Okay.
So and I'm also curious. Like, if you don't feel that this is the truth, please push back. I want to hear your perspective.
Okay.
I do think that there are, especially with as many new agents coming into the market as we're seeing in Kansas City, and I presume that's true in other places as well. I think that there is a group of people who they do everything that we tell them to do. They go through these processes. They put together their database. They do their best to execute a client event, right? They take feedback, and it's not working, right? It isn't working. And I do have a belief, I used to say things like, everybody can be successful in this business. Everybody can. You have to work hard, do what we do what's tried, true, tested. It's going to work for you. I have come off of that belief.
Some people aren't built for it, Alex.
I know there are just
not.
people that aren't built for it, and there are also people that just aren't. It's just not going to happen,
Right.
For one reason or another, right? They're just. It's not. It isn't working. I'm curious on your perspective on that. Number one, I want to know as a broker, how do I identify that right ahead of time,
Yes.
right? And number two, what can somebody like that where this database stuff, right? It just isn't working for them. Their people don't know them, like them, or trust them. I'm sorry, that's a terrible thing to say, but there's something that's not connecting. Is there still a path for them in this industry?
That's such a great question, because I don't want to do a blanket statement of, no, there's no room for you. Like, you should probably find a different job that's not
I'd have to turn
independent
off the
contractor.
mic for my response.
Exactly.
We'd have to go offline for mine.
Exactly. my immediate response, this is where I go directly into coaching mode, is that if you're showing up and you're doing all the things, immediately what I want to do is pressure test the things that you're doing. Because there's a difference between building a business and simply checking the boxes of, I need to host an open house, check, I held it on Saturday. That's great. And you're doing the things, right?
Mechanical.
It's mechanical. Yes, exactly. And so if you're looking at it as a task, simply a task, you're going to find a challenge, right? So I pressure test every step. If you have an entire database of people that know you and they may not like you or they may not trust you, then we're going to dive into pressure testing. What are your conversations? How frequently are you having them? Are you making it about the client? Or are you making it weird? And this was another thing. Like, there's a lot of information that we really want to gather about our clients. Like, we want to know about our clients' kids or their pets and anniversary dates. But if we go into it with like, hey, Natalie, how are you doing? Who are you married to? What's their birthday? Who are your pets? That's weird. I don't trust you. And again, like, what are you signing me up for?
Yeah.
I don't want to be a part of that. So, but are you checking the box? 100%. Like, you got the data, but that's not what we want to do. We're wanting to build
so
these
much easier.
relationships.
What's so funny to me about that, though, is that we totally know people. I know all of us do.
Yes.
Who absolutely can have that conversation and be that direct about it and pull it off beautifully.
Yes, I
and
can.
it isn't weird.
That's not everyone.
That's right.
That's the anomaly.
That is a small number. You're right.
right.
There are people that can do it.
Yes.
And we've all worked with them.
Oh, my gosh.
And yeah. But then there's the other ones. And
Yeah,
but you and I are different, Alex. We're the ones that we'll get all that information. It'll just take us a few minutes.
It's going to take a little bit of time.
But we'll get it.
Absolutely.
And
yeah.
I've been with people, like my wife will be maybe at an appointment, or she'll just be in the background of something we had to stop and do on the way.
Yes.
And then I think it's so funny because you were trying to get this out of them.
Yes.
Because I saw how you did that.
Yeah.
But she knows me really well.
Yes.
I was casting a line. I was fishing.
Yes.
And so.
And then somehow she gets it. She gets the information. It's like, same boat. We'll go into.
And I always remind her how I told you I was good at this.
I think I'm good at this.
Then there's days do you think you're really off, like it didn't work because that client was the other way and you just couldn't get anything out of them. And you think maybe I'm not that good.
And here's the thing: it is. I'm going to remind us, it's not about us, right? Like, those are the things. Like, we may reach out to our clients and say, okay, you know what? I think it was their pet's birthday. I'm going to, connect with them. We don't know what's happening in their lives. So if we just say, oh, I'm making my calls on Tuesday, and I think that Natalie's going to be able to provide me with this information, and I'm in a space where I'm not there, right? Like, I've got a deadline. I'm on the road, whatever that may be. And you don't get that connection, it's not a fail. Like, you just, again, we're actually building relationships. So if you're thinking about like a relationship standpoint, you didn't get the information there, but you're going to call back again because you really want to know about them. And so pressure testing is number one.
I love it.
There's a second piece that I think about because I see this quite often with the agents that don't make it in this industry, and it's mindset. And there's no way around it. You can't circumvent it. Like, if you do not have the right mindset, if you do not have the right belief that what you're doing is actually going to build a solid business for you, it's not going to work. I shared my first year in the business, I had to build an entire database of 150 people. You tell an average practitioner that today, they look at you like you have two heads. Like, I'm not doing that. I'll just go online and I'll do something on social media instead, right? And or whatever it is. I'll find any other excuse to do something other than that. There was no doubt in my mind, one, that I was going to connect with more than 150 people and that they were going to like me and trust me. And you know what happened? They did. And I was able to build a solid business off of that. But if you don't have the right mindset, like true belief in what you're doing, who you are, the caliber of agent that's showing up to serve those clients and be of value of those clients, you can throw it all out the window. You're simply just checking boxes.
See, if I would have met with you and we would have had these conversations, I would have said, you're never going to make it, but go ahead and try, but you're never going to make it because I know that, that would have spurred you to do it to prove me wrong.
Exactly.
You know what I'm going to do?
I'm doing it anyway.
I'm going to do more than what he said I should do. And I'm going to show him.
Exactly.
And I would have just said, you know what? That's why I did it because I knew you were going to do this.
You know me so well.
I knew I could get more out of you.
You know me so well. So that's how I landed my license at the first brokerage that I started with. Is the instructor of the licensing school that I went through. it became that point where we were going out and interviewing brokerages, and he said, okay, you guys should start interview brokerages and but stay away from this brokerage because they don't take rookie agents. And I perked up and I was like, do tell.
Yeah, I can see it.
And that's where I went.
Yeah. Totally see it.
Yes. And rookie agent, no database. I don't know what happened, but there I was. I don't know what they were thinking. It was a good gamble.
They didn't see a spark. They saw a forest fire.
That's it.
Well, Natalie, I'm going to ask Bobby's famous question.
Okay.
What else? What have we not asked you today that we should have asked you?
I want to reinforce the fact, if you're not willing to roll up your sleeves and engage with the people that you're hoping know, like, and trust you to help them with the biggest financial transaction of their lives in most cases, and your simple task is just to stay top of mind and engage with them and care about them, then you should probably look at where you are in your business and what you're truly doing, right? Is it from a transactional standpoint? Because we have the opportunity to play such a tremendous role in so many lives within our communities, and I don't take that charge lightly. And so I don't think anyone should take the charge lightly. Whatever chance or opportunity you have to pour into, to create exceptional experiences, to provide value for, do it. And it's not doing it expecting an immediate return. Do it because you know that's what's best for your client. It's what's best for your community. Long term, it's what's best for your business. But immediately, you may not see those results, and that's okay.
Plant the seeds.
That's it.
Plant the seeds. Harvest will come someday.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
So good. Thank you so much for being with us today. And you've got one more session today.
Yes.
And that's exciting. And I don't even know why I brought that up, because we don't get to interview you
don't get
after
to talk
that
about
session.
it? I know.
But can you just tell us really quickly what it was going to be about as well? And
Yes, absolutely. So the second session is going to be, it's entitled Communication Skills That Pay the Bills. And it's really looking at your communication style, your strategy. How are we delivering information? What are we saying? How are we creating value for our clients? And it builds on the database mastery, right? Like, you know who you're connecting with, you know what type of business you're wanting to build. How do we deliver the messaging around that? And yeah, I think that would be a whole episode on itself.
I am going to be in there. I don't gush often. I really don't, but I'm gushing.
Oh, thank you.
Wow.
I'm honored. I like this. Thank you.
Natalie, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. It's been an honor. Thank you so much.